Redevelopment Commission meeting to order for July. We have an agenda listed, and I will make an addition to that agenda, and we'll actually add it to number 8. I did get an invoice from Engineering and Associates, so we'll add that. I actually got it today, so we'll add that to the approval of the invoices. Does anybody else have any additions or subtractions from the agenda?
No, we need miscellaneous.
Huh? No, miscellaneous doesn't exist.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
Well, can you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Our next item is approval of the minutes, which was sent out. Any changes or corrections to the minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
We got a motion?
Second that.
Got a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The TIF district balances, hot off the press from Pam today. Allocation 1, $275,435.41. TIF 1 is the courthouse district. TIF 3, which is the Wapaka district, is $252,152.49. Probably noticed it's less than it was last time because there were bond payments, correct? And that one still has debt issued on it. So that's there to pay the debt off for the Wapaka area. TIF number 4 is the Webb Wheel TIF. It's $200,506.92. We did pay those bonds off really prior to the last meeting, so that's just TIF dollars that are accumulating now. TIF number 5, which is Riverview, $3,831.88. Really not a lot of revenue that comes through that. Tell City 6 and 7, which is TIF 6 and 7. We haven't even started those TIF districts, and we really haven't done much with the Riverview district either. So those are our balances for right now. All right, Ron, we get to you pretty as quick as we can. I know you got plenty to do. We do have some updates on the apartments, and I'm going to call them positive updates on the apartment. Spoke with Ron earlier today, and correct me if we're wrong on this, Ron, but it looks like we have an agreement, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, and it looks like he's ready to go to get the final funding next Friday, correct?
Close by the end of next week.
Yep. And looks like within the next 60 days, we're going to have things happening down there, correct?
Yes, we've already had our TAC meeting with the city. We've and I've met with most of the utility guys. We've got a few things to work out, but it's all going positive.
Yeah, I talked to Chris, and he said the same. Chris Kale said the same. One of the, and it's really not an issue, but one of the legal eases that I think we had to work through, and Ron and Chris and I have been working through this over the last month now, I guess. And I think we need to look at it from the commission standpoint, is the bank is requiring that the deed for the property, I understand, for the loan of the property. But the big debate for us is we have to make sure everybody's covered, that we're covered, Ron's covered, everybody's covered as a protection mechanism. So if things don't go like we contracted early on, that we have some protocol. So in conversation, we had a couple of ways we were thought about. It didn't seem like it was going to work for both sides. So Chris has written up an agreement that will be signed by HBS LLC, which is the builder, in essence, correct? Whereas that if once this is signed, the 60-day window starts. Project has to be started within 60 days, and then we go back to the original contract language, which says within 14 months the project should be completed by that period of time. If that doesn't happen, then the property will resort back to us as a commission. I don't think any of that's going to come into play. At least I hope not. Ron hopes not, everybody hopes not, but we felt that we had to have some protection of the public money and the public property, that we just didn't want to go carte blanche out there. Ron, I think, understands that, and we understand his position. So with this agreement, I know you all just got this, I think we just need to make sure that we had it in the minutes and that our board approved it also. And then once Ron signs it, then we'll actually transfer the deed, correct, Chris?
It's right here.
Yep, we'll transfer the deed so the bank has it for the mortgage. and then we should be ready to go.
Yep.
After a long drawn-out affair, hopefully this is kind of the final. Now, one thing we'll ask you, Ron, is on a periodic basis, we'll want updates on how the project's going.
I hope you just have to drive by and look.
I'll see it every day.
Well, I just hope you have to drive by and look.
I
We
will
won't
see,
have to
I will
worry about
literally
it.
see it every day, so, and I'm sure the city will be happy they can stop cutting grass down there too.
Yeah.
So, are you guys okay with that? Carol?
I will abstain from any conversation.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Randy?
In the event you did recapture the property after 14 months, is there no mortgage or any debt placed on that property, so it comes back to you clear, or how's that work?
Chris?
As a practical matter, the real teeth is starting construction within 60 months because, or 60
days.
60 days. Because you're right, Randy, at the end, 10 months into this thing, that building in theory is going to be substantially completed.
Sure.
And there will be a construction loan on that property from whichever bank you're utilizing.
Spring Valley Bank.
Name I'm not, yeah,
Yeah.
I've forgotten. So if we took the property back, it would be subject to that mortgage.
Correct.
Debt that's on it, which is not helpful. So,
No, but they're only gonna loan me X number of dollars against the appraised value, so,
yep.
So we would still have value.
sure.
In essence, if you got the property back, you would have to pay the first mortgage off to be the actual owner of it if you wanted to get your.
Then we would have to flip it out.
So,
That's what you're.
That would be our risk. That is correct. That would be our risk.
Basically, yes.
That would be our risk.
Find somebody to come in and finish it and take it to the finish.
And we're hopeful, you always hope it doesn't happen, but that is the risk that we have at this point in the game. I guess we should probably do this as a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll have to second it. Right, Carol?
And I will abstain.
There you go. I guess if we're both in favor, we'll approve it and have Ron sign it.
That's not enough, gotta have 3 approve it.
You have to have 3 approvals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or we don't have, or do we have to do it as a motion in the meeting?
You can approve it, you can sign it subject to approval in the future.
We'll do that. We'll make that, you want to change your motion?
Yeah,
We'll
I'll make
that motion.
motion
approve
subject
that.
to.
Since we don't have enough voting members. We'll still sign it, Ron. So hopefully within the next 30 days or so, Ron, right?
Oh, I imagine it'd be sooner than that on some of it. I mean, the plans will be filed, the finals will be going to the state tomorrow, so once this is signed. And then we can get a permit to start, but that won't keep us from doing the stuff that we have to do with the city.
Okay.
We've already got, that's all been, we've got to move the sewer, we've got to, I had a water line, but none of that has to be approved by the state.
And they're planning on doing the sewer line, right?
Right, we're working on that as we speak. We're working with the town.
If I'm not mistaken, the city has agreed to do that, correct?
Correct. And they're working on rerouting some water lines to give me enough water pressure to do the fire suppression. We have 2 options there, and they're working on a couple deals there, so.
Okay, thank you. You have another question, Randy? Okay. The next thing we have, I'll have to wait for Chris here because he's been working, and this is another legal portion of the update and discussion on the transfer of property from Perry County Memorial Hospital. I believe the documents are finished and it's been sent off to the hospital for them to look at their board meeting, which is either tonight or tomorrow. I don't remember when their board meeting is. We've talked to the hospital board as well as the CEO, and they're still all in favor, so I don't anticipate any issues there. So that'll get that last legal document, that portion completed. And then all we really have left which is item number 7, which is the zoning. And that's gone a little slower than I anticipated, but I'll discuss that here in a minute. So by the next meeting, we should have the title transfer to the Redevelopment Commission from the hospital. then the Redevelopment Commission will own it. And then we're gonna maintain it in the Redevelopment Commission's ownership, and the Redevelopment Commission will be responsible for all the deed transfers on individual property sales, as well as making payments back to the hospital as we sell the properties. Forest Canton, which has been part of most of our subject here, the Forest Canton timetable, sat down and did kind of a timetable on it. Tomorrow, Aaron and I are going to get together and work on another Ready grant, or the Ready grant, and have that available, ready for her on the 2nd of August, correct? Looking at funding. Charlie and I talked a little bit today about the ARP funding. So we're still working on those two places. As we discussed last month, the city's ARP is recommended, and we talked to Baker Tilly to make sure this was all okay, of $150,000 for the sewer line construction at this point. So we've got to start doing the math. You know, I think we're going to probably end up kind of, if you want to use the term, piecemealing the project together. As we get funding, we're going to keep working on projects and get it to the point where we're going to get most of it done, and then we can start at least selling properties, selling homes. So when you look, when I look at the timetable, as we go into August now, in July it looks like the deed is going to get transferred here in July. In August, we're going to hopefully finalize all the zoning. If I can get Goodson to give me some times and dates, so I've got to call in to him on that. So that'll be rezoned from commercial to R2. I talked to Kenny, he's got the final plans. He's actually already submitted them to the state for the water runoff approval. He was going to follow back up with them to make sure that there was no issues there, and if there are, we'll fix them and address them. Ready application will be going out the first part of August. As we get into September, I'm hoping that we're to the point where we can actually start bidding out the grading work, because plans will be done. I will have some somewhat estimates because we need them for the Ready grant, but I'm hoping to start going through the process of the actual physical bids, if the estimates come where I think they will come, to get that completed as quickly as we can. And then the next bid set will come out for utilities, which is going to be primarily sewage and water, quite frankly, because the rest of Ohio Valley Gas has already got it scheduled in for the first part of 2023. They've already budgeted it. REC, I think, is kind of in the same mode, and PSCI, I'm not sure, are our internet companies, if it's them or Comcast, I guess, depending on what we decide to go, or what actually happens out there. Ultimately, by the end of the year, our first quarter of 2023, I would like to see utility construction done, rough grade work done, at least the road portion gravelled and ready for concrete and asphalt. And that's all going to be dictated on money, by the way. That's what it's going to boil down to. So as we get funds, I think we're going to do work, and we're just going to literally just keep piecing it together. So 2023, what I'm also hoping, spring of 2023, we start selling lots. And I think that's a very, very, very probable time frame, unless we get a hiccup in this thing. So the Ready grant, the ARP funds are important. They'll just speed the whole thing up. If we don't, it'll be slowed down, and we'll just have to use the funds that we have available, quite frankly. You know, we're about a quarter of the way there, roughly, depending on how the bids come back, of course. I think the most expensive is going to be the concrete and asphalt. I got a feeling, I know that for a fact. So that's our timetable. So we're going to try to stay to that timetable, and we'll keep everybody updated where we stand on the timetable as we go into the next several months. So we're planning on meeting every month for a while. Sorry, guys and gals. Because I think this is important enough that we have to keep it moving. And again, this morning they had the hospital put on we need to see what's important for the community, and one of the things was housing in that discussion also. So we know this is something that we need. We're also hoping that some of these prices come down before next year, and it'll be a little bit more favorable to build again. I don't know the answer to that, but we're hoping. So, any questions on that, comments? We don't take complaints, so. Okay. Zoning changes, we're kind of on hold. They have all the documents. Steve Goodson has all the documents. We're just waiting for them to give us some timetables so Carol can send out the cards and letters to the property owners to do the proper zoning meetings and proper documentation on that. So once Steve gets back to us, then we can go ahead and get that forward out to the landowners. Talking with the city and the city council, not seeing as this is really any problems, but we got to go through the process to get it done. So, boy, this is moving along pretty good today. Everybody's quiet. Last thing we have, there's two invoices. One is from Ice Miller, and it's legal work for two different things. One, it was for the finalization of the bond payoff for the Webb Wheel District, and the other was for legal work done on the property transfer agreements between Perry County Memorial Hospital and the Redevelopment Commission. That amount came to $11,116.50. And this is, I guess, has kind of been approved through from Engineering Associates Kenny, the $20,000. He invoiced us for $6,060 for work that he's completed up to date. So I went ahead, he sent that to me this morning, so I thought we would just get that out to him. But I don't know how we have to approve those. I'll have to tell him, because that would be under our original appropriation.
The Ice Miller would have any appropriation on
Anything that comes from the RDC has to be appropriated by the
that. By the
council.
council.
Okay. So we have to get motions and do all that, correct?
And unfortunately, it won't go until August.
It is
That's
what it
better
is.
than September.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is.
No.
So I guess we'll need a motion
Yep.
approval for both of the bills. You can do them separately or together, however y'all want to do it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we
Thank
approve
you.
those.
Carol? I'm
Jointly.
assuming you'll second that,
I'll
David?
second it, yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Sorry, folks, that's all we got today. Unless somebody has questions.
Now I gotta go back to the office.
No, you don't.
Questions or concerns? I'm hoping, the county commissioners and county council still have a pretty good understanding of what we're trying to do. At some point, I will tell you, and I'm assuming this will go to the county commissioners, the road in front is, we're gonna have to get some repair work done on that, but we'll have to address it as time goes on, because it's in pretty bad shape.
After the meeting, you got a few minutes, I'd like to just talk to you one-on-one.
Yeah, all I gotta do is cut grass tonight, so.
Ugh.
Now, I'm looking for volunteers if they wanna help.
You're volunteering from JR?
You have to talk to my wife about that.
Smart.
So with that, I think we covered everything we need to today. So I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. I think this is a record for us.
I think it is too.
Okay, and I need to see those invoices. Where am I taking these out? You said the 1 to 6,000.